Welcome to the Southwest Florida Real Estate Update, hosted by the York Group of Downing Fry Realty. Our show will bring you the most up-to-date information on the local real estate market, presented by leading experts in the field.
Welcome to the Southwest Florida Real Estate Update. I'm Morgan York with the York Group of Downing Fry, and we are joined today by our host Jim York and his guest Allan Berube, Master Inspector with Janus Inspections.
Thank you, Morgan, for the introduction. Well, Allan, Janus Inspections, right?
Correct, sir.
So tell us a little about yourself. I know you do our inspections, a lot of them. Today we're going to talk about new construction today. So, tell our viewers a little bit about you and your company.
Sure. My name is Allan Berube. I own Janus Inspections. I'm a certified master inspector, and I hold a certified Florida home inspection license. I've been doing home inspections since 2010. I was in the construction industry before that. Started Janus Inspections about 3.5 years now. And of course, we've been doing business for close to 10 years now.
Yep.
And business is booming. Sales are through the roof. And I actually have my son who will be joining me doing taking his inspection license soon. And
oh, really?
We'll be father and son. Yeah.
Geez, that's fantastic.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, that's great. So, I wanted to take really the theme of this show with you is new construction, but just give our viewers a little overview of why they should have a inspection for a new home. Okay?
Sure. You have to start with most of the builders, they're doing a good job. I mean, they do good construction. Every builder has their little things here and there. But all in all, I get asked all the time, should I do an inspection on a new home? There's two schools of thought there. You can either do it pre-closing, you know what I mean? So you can have your inspection done, or you can do it within the warranty period. And when I say within the warranty period, you are usually given a 1-year warranty on a new home construction. So after 9-10 months, I'll tell people, you know what, just give me a call at that time. We'll come in and do an inspection. You will have an idea of how the house already runs. You'll know all its ins and outs, and we'll be able to determine that, what other issues are there, and still have time to have it repaired under the warranty period. And those are a little different in a lot of ways too, because several builders, before we do a home inspection on new construction, before it's closed, we're limited as to our accesses. Okay, so we cannot walk on, for certain builders, we cannot walk on a roof. So we can't inspect a roof properly while it's still under the builder's control. We can't go in an attic in several builders. So we can only peek our head into the access panel. I like to walk in all my attics, just to check from one end as far as I can go. Not a big guy, so sometimes that's limited, but
just
I like
cool down up there.
What's that?
Just so you can cool down.
Just so I can cool down, yep. And there are, in the new construction, some builders won't allow you to take the electrical panel off. So you can't see the actual wiring. Now, don't get me wrong. This is, most of the guys are doing it fantastic. There's, you rarely have an issue with those. It's usually the smaller things that really tend to come up in new construction. But some of them have proved to be, significant. So.
Yeah, well, I try and, I have a little different theme on that, or thought on that, is I try and get them in there before closing, or if you can't do a full inspection, I try and get them in there right after closing, because usually a lot of the builders, they'll do a punch out within 30 days or 60 days after you move in, but they also do that year one too. But once you move in, you start finding all these little things wrong. Not that it's maybe anything major, but it's hard to get them back to get things done. So if you could do it prior to closing, you have that punch out list, and they'll get in a lot quicker right after closing. They might even get it done before closing. So.
Yeah, and the only other issues that comes up with that too is that a lot of them are, your closing dates are set.
Right.
And several of them, they really push that closing date. So I hate to walk into a place, and I have walked in, a week before closing, that's when they scheduled me to come in. And the truth is, there's a significant amount of things left to do.
Oh, there
so
is.
You don't want to criticize for having not done, because you really can't say it's defective or anything like that. But maybe it was a little premature in getting in there. So, but there are several guys, you know what, they have their punch list statements out to what they have to do before closing, and they're very well organized. Others, not so much.
Yep.
So
I agree with you. I agree. Every builder's different.
Yep.
It's just so. I just want to make a point that I think it's important that you do inspection with new construction.
I think it is as well.
And now let's just go to some pictures. What do we have as the first picture here?
Sure. Well, this is, and lately I've done quite a few new home inspections, and there are simple things. And I think sometimes the big picture of the whole thing gets kind of blurred, but this is a simple main water supply line. That's the shutoff line, and they just don't have the handles on it. You know what I mean? Just little things like that. And that's a very important thing, specifically for those people that are here only 6 months of the year.
Yeah, and shut off their water.
Yeah. So. You have to know that when you leave town for any significant amount of time, I even do it for a weekend, shut your water supply off to your house and turn your water heater off.
The cost of something like that to repair if they didn't?
About $3.
Yep, so. Okay, next picture, please.
This is another thing we had come to a lot.
Good place to have them, right?
Yeah, great place to have it. And that's pretty common practice for new builders. There's screens.
Right.
And they don't like to put the screens on until the very, very last minute. But sometimes in the rush of getting things done, I'll come in and do a new inspection. They see that, hey, when they install the windows, they packed all the screens together, they put them up in the attic, and they left them there. Well, they still have to be put on. One of the things as an inspector says, I don't know if there's every screen there for the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It comes to the same with shutters too.
Right.
Hurricane shutters. You see a stack of shutters, I'm not going to go and put all the shutters on, so you kind of assume that they're all there, but it'd be nice to have them on to see if we're missing any before closing,
Next picture, please.
This is actually a house I just did yesterday.
And that's a roof vent up there, right?
That's a roof vent and just some of the tiles. The unfortunate thing about the roof vents is they have to trim the top of the tiles to make them fit where they put in vents. When they trim the top off, they're cutting off the holes where they would normally nail them. So most of the roof tiles are actually glued in place. And inevitably you get a few that slide. And that's probably one of the biggest things that comes up in a regular roof inspection as well.
In the next picture?
This is actually the shower door. It's going to be turned to the side here. This is a great little house, nice tile, nice bathrooms, glass door. Unfortunately, they put a towel bar. So the first time that somebody swings open the glass door and hits the towel bar, it's going to shatter. Somebody's going to get hurt. So very simple thing that could have been, a little bit of thought process would have stopped something like that.
Next picture.
And this is just, again, little things that come up.
Door lock.
Yeah, I mean, several of the doors, they've got the little spring inside. And
it happens all the time. Even windows, the screens or the going up and down the locks on the windows.
Yeah, exactly. So these are just little things that I would assume this was done pre-closing. I would assume that this would have showed up in a punch list over the next year by the homeowner. Say, hey, we can't lock this door.
But it'd be nice to get it fixed before closing. Okay,
Correct.
Next one.
Yeah. This is actually a brand new home built by a local company in Quail West, actually, and $1.7 million home. And actually, the French doors in the master, they leaked. There was just a crack in the seal, and the wood floor that was in the thing was, that's, if you can see closely, it's 100%. So that was actually all wet at the French doors.
Right.
And it started to buckle. And the next photo, I think, is a pullback from where it was. So that was probably a couple $1,000s worth of new wood that had to go in before closing.
Wow, that's Next picture.
This is an issue we're having a lot, actually, and I think I had it at one of your homes. A lot of the builders are going straight up to the front of the garage with pavers. And in this particular house was out in Golden Gate Estates, and it had rained, and because the pavers are set either equal or higher than the interior garage floor, I came to do it, open the garage door, and there's probably 10, 15 gallons of water on the garage floor. So a lot of time they need to just get back to having that step down lip at the garage door where the garage seats properly.
But it's not the code, this is correct.
There's no code specific on
Right.
this. Yeah, there's no code specific about it. I just point out the fact that, hey, the door doesn't seal properly on the pavers, and that they're higher than the interior garage floor.
Right, which should be a little bit lower at least, if
Yeah.
they're not going to put the lip under there.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, the next picture.
This is a funny one, actually, and this is very common. This is a bathtub. This is a composite bathtub, fiberglass, however you want to say it,
Yep.
in a guest bathroom in a brand new home. And if you step back, if you look back on it, you can see a dark ring about 3 inches up from the bottom of the tub. And it's very common and I'm not concerned much about the ring, but painters and drywall guys, they will find, if you don't have a wet sink in the laundry or anything, they find an area to clean their products.
Right.
And they'll use the tub in one of the bathrooms. The ring can go away. You can buff out the ring. I'm more concerned with the fact that all the debris that gets pushed down the drain, and then they're done, and then the house may sit for a month or 2 months, whatever it is, and no water gets down the drain, and all this compound dust, paint,
all that stuff, yep.
solidifies. And then all of a sudden you have a tub that doesn't work or slow drain. So,
oh, interesting.
Yeah, it happens more often than you'd think.
Yeah. How about the next picture here?
This is
a little crack.
Well, actually, no. This is a brand new house. Again, part of the one I did yesterday. They must have cut the tiles when they did the roof. It must have been raining because they cut them on the floor of the garage.
Okay.
And there are several just cuts in the garage floor. And in this particular case, the homeowner was there, and they said, no, we're having a tile guy come in. It wasn't a big deal. But if you were going to do an epoxy coating on this garage floor afterwards, that would be a major problem.
Right.
So, and they're not major things, but they're you know, is this a defective item? No, there's no cracks on the garage floor. It's probably going to last just as long as any. But, you know, in a brand new home, you wouldn't expect that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
next picture here.
Now this is, the last two photos here are basically, I was hired by a German couple who are building a house in North Naples. And this is, so I've gone through, every time they complete a facet of the construction, I go by and I check to see how they're done.
Good idea.
Yeah, and you can see there's a bend in one of the HVC lines where they supported it. Right now, today.
No air is getting through there?
Well, again, today it's going to be fine.
Right.
Next month it'll be fine, and probably for a year it'll be fine. Eventually it's going to fold.
Right.
Okay, it's going to collapse the inside tube. So we are doing a full inspection when they're complete, and we've all agreed to it, the builder as well. And that, I believe, has already been repaired since I've taken this up, but it'll be something I'll be checking for when I do the main inspection.
This is why you need an inspector doing this. So,
because you'll find yourself in a position where all of a sudden one of the rooms you're going to get no air.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because it'll have collapsed the HVAC duct.
Next, yep. What's this?
Now this is actually the same home. This is in North Naples, and now you have to, with new construction on the lots in North Naples, you have to kind of maintain your own rainwater. So this is, when I first saw it, I thought it was a spillover from the pool, which is to the left. And actually, no, it's a holding retention area for your rainwater from your house to go there and then hold your own rainwater until it can be properly dispersed back into the ground. Wow. Yeah, so they'll be asking for, you know, most of the new construction, or actually, no, all of the new construction in that particular part of the city will be going to having these retention areas in the back. So,
Alan, we got about 1 more minute left in the show here. Tell them a little bit about your inspection, what they get when you get an inspection, because you go in, you take pictures, and just tell them a little bit of the process of that.
Sure.
How, you know, if we do an inspection today, you really email us the report that night. We have it the next morning, and what they get in that inspection, because it's very professional, and it's spelled right out there, and it has pictures. There shouldn't be many questions, and you make your little notes.
I do.
To it.
And we've come a long way. I mean, 10, 15 years ago, you know, there'd be no photos. It would be standard forms that you'd go through and you check with a pen, and you submit the copies right there. You could do that right on site. Nowadays, we offer Janus inspections. We offer home inspections, condo inspections, pre-sale inspections, pre-closing inspections, roof, wind mitigation, all the insurance inspections as well. Now, this would be our report. It's sent via email. Very simple, very easy to read from what I understand. According to it's a special program that we have. And typically I like to get all my inspections out the same day. So unless we do a radon test or a mold inspection, stuff like that, mold obviously takes lab time, so we get it back the next day, and a radon system has to sit in their house for 48 hours. So we'll get those results back 2 days later. But typically all my reports go out the same day or very early the next morning. And for an inspection, we start at the roof. We walk every roof that we can safely. We go in every attic. We check for foundation issues, the exterior of the house, the HVAC, the plumbing, the electrical, room by room, doors, windows,
Everything. Yep.
Pretty much everything is checked. For those times, from 2005 to 2007, we do a Chinese drywall inspection as well. With all of our home inspections, we include a wind mitigation. So you don't have to pay extra for that. We're actually in the attic anyway, and we're walking around the house taking photos anyway. So those are included in our reports. So it comes out, and it's, I find, very easy to read, and everything is color coded as well, and everything is collected at the back of the report that will show you, break it down into defective and marginal issues.
Yeah. So we are in hurricane season now, and we do have big thunderstorms here in Florida, so it might sometimes a good idea, you do an inspection, you might want to have you come back right before closing to see if there's any damage or things have been repaired. Or
for 2 weeks after Irma,
Right.
2 years ago, I spent my time either doing in roof inspections
Right.
or those inspections that I had done just prior,
Right.
and they were coming up to closing and say, hey, can you go back and check to see if it's the
Right.
same? And of course, I will. I mean,
Yep.
because we want to make sure that the home that you're buying is exactly the same pre and post hurricane.
Don Ross, which is in the audience here today, he's our attorney, and he highly recommends that. So
Yeah, we do that.
So I think that's something that's valuable to customers too.
Bad thing in our industry is surprises. Nobody wants any surprises.
So Allan, thanks for coming on the show today. I think I hope our viewers learned a lot, and I hope you get some customers from the show.
I appreciate that.
And thanks again. Thanks for coming on, and
Thanks
we'll
for
see you
having me.
next week. And thank you for tuning in today.
Thinking of buying or selling a home in Naples, Marco Island, Bonita, or Estero, Florida? Think of the most experienced York Real Estate Group, associated with the #1 brokerage in Southwest Florida, Downing Fry Realty, which produces yearly real estate transactions of over $1 billion. Jim, Michael, and Morgan make up the York Real Estate Group of Downing Fry Realty, with over $275 million in sales transactions, along with offering over 25 combined years' experience in the local market. The Yorks can offer the experience and trust you need in a realtor. Call them today at 239-273-6727 or visit their website at www.naplesyorkrealestate.com.